can you take Blue Chew and consume alcohol and still expect this bad boy to work? I have to answer this question in two very dichotomous, opposing ways. Number one, don't do it. That's the first disclaimer I have to say, because all the medical literature says it's not good for you. It's not safe. By the way, guys, I'm going to give you like some really good information here. I'm going to give you my personal experience because I have mixed alcohol with Blue Chew. So I'll give you a real answer, but I also have to give a disclaimer based off of health reasons and all of that. If at any given point, if you never tried Blue Chew, you can scan the QR code on the screen or use the link below, whichever you prefer, to get a free month of the most basic offer that they have, which is like 6 tablets. You can choose vardenafil, tadalafil, sildenafil, whichever you choose. But anyway, that's just kind of opening up with that. But here's the deal. I'm going to recommend, because even on the Blue Chew website, it says not to consume alcohol with sildenafil or with anything that Blue Chew offers, because quite frankly, it can be dangerous, right? Mixing alcohol with a lot of different medications can be dangerous. And this stuff isn't over the counter. It's prescription medication. And everyone has different biology. The Blue Chew website says is you can get super low blood pressure. All that being said, what I have to recommend is that you don't do it. Also, that being said, I'm going to be honest with you and tell you I have done it, and I've done it a lot. I've done it with a couple of drinks, and I've done it also, getting, quite intoxicated. So I'm going to give you an honest, anecdotal answer based off of my experience, and then take it with a grain of salt and, make your own decision. So now that I've said the disclaimer part, do not do it. Blue Chew says don't do it. All the medical science says don't do it. It's not like it's like super, super dangerous. It could be, right? All that being said, I am one of those guys that I'm pretty healthy. I stay fit. I eat decently well. I'm not like, super bodybuilder, amazing body, but I work out. So, and on top of eating healthy and taking care of myself to some degree, I'm one of those guys that like, I almost never have allergic reactions to anything. If there are side effects to things, I usually experience the mild version of them. That's kind of me. So, I'm already in that category to begin with, right? So I have mixed alcohol with Blue Chew. I haven't had any health problems, but I'm going to speak more on terms of the efficacy. How effective is Blue Chew? How effective is it? Not safe. That's the safety was the first phase. Second phase is how effective is it? So here has been my experience. I've taken Blue Chew and had a couple beers. A couple beers to me is 2 or 3, and Blue Chew works great. Blue Chew offers vardenafil, sildenafil, tadalafil, all that. I'm a sildenafil guy. That's what's always worked for me. And so anyway, all that being said, I have taken it with a few beers. It works just as good as if I had no alcohol. Now, I've also had it when I've taken, vodka is my choice of hard liquor if I ever have that. I've also taken it when I've had a good, pretty moderate, amount of vodka, and it'll still work. But here's the deal. Check this out. So it'll work, but there's a couple of factors at play. I'll get to the timing, which one you take first in a second. But for the most part, 90% of the time it'll work, but it cuts the dosage effectiveness, if you will, in half. In other words, let's just say I take 100 milligrams of sildenafil. I'm not saying I take that. I'm just using an example. Let's say I take 100 milligrams of sildenafil. If I drink a moderate amount of alcohol, hard liquor especially, right? Or like 10 beers, which I never do. I'm not that big of a beer guy. But if I've drank a decent amount, it will feel like I took a weaker dosage by a significant amount. So I'll still feel it. We all get whiskey, you know what, right? You know the term. I don't want to say it on camera, but we all get that impairment in erection from drinking. This helps, but it's not like taking it without alcohol in your system. What you don't want to do, and what I have never done, even me being super healthy and never having almost any side effects, is I would never double the dosage or take more to compensate for the alcohol I'm consuming. That's just stupid. I have had times, guys, where I have taken Blue Chew and drank too much, and I negated the Blue Chew almost 100%. But that's when I'm getting too intoxicated. It's not a miracle, right? But it will help compensate for whiskey, you know what. And so that being said, you're going to have a date night with your wife. Me and my wife, like to have our occasional glass of wine, whatever, sometimes beyond a glass of wine. But, I always have to keep that in mind. But the thing is timing matters. So alcohol to me takes longer to fully enter your system than Blue Chew. Blue Chew, the sildenafil, it kicks in about, for me, 30 to 45 minutes. I'm on the faster side for some reason. Also, if you're on an empty stomach. So for example, if I'm going to drink, let's say in about 20 minutes. Like I have a 20-minute drive to the bar where I'm meeting my friends or take my wife on a date. I could take the Blue Chew beforehand, go ahead and drink, and spend like an hour with my wife at the bar, restaurant, whatever, head back home and still be pretty good. You know what I'm saying? There's a factor of timing that takes place. If I drink and then take the Blue Chew, that's when it almost cuts the dosage in half. And depending on how much I drink, it can almost mitigate the entire effectiveness of the dose, period. So anyway, again, what do I recommend? Don't mix alcohol with Blue Chew at all, or sildenafil, tadalafil, anywhere you're getting your tadalafil, sildenafil, or vardenafil for that matter. But if you wanna like try what I've tried, if you're looking, you know, at my anecdotal experience, then just chill out a little bit. Don't go too hard on the liquor, and then timing can matter. Take the Bluechew beforehand, and that's it. And listen to your body. If you ever try doing this and you have some kind of experience, don't ever do it again. Always ask your doctor, you know, if you're going to try this at all. That's another disclaimer I have to give. And either way, guys, that's just my experience that I want to give you an honest share of. You can use that QR code on the screen or that link down below again to get a good deal on Bluechew if you want. And that being said, that's all I have for you in this video. See you later.